This upgrade was considered so extreme that the Pentagon initially tried to block it. Back in 2011, a team of Israeli engineers suggested alterations to America's most secretive fighter jet. Military leaders called the plan too dangerous and claimed it couldn't be done. Despite the warnings, Israel went ahead and implemented the changes anyway. The results were astonishing. What followed stunned experts around the globe. Iranian commanders were utterly stunned. Even Russian defense analysts were at a loss for words. The United States itself had to acknowledge they had underestimated it. Now, we're unveiling the secret F-35 upgrade that defied every regulation and reshaped modern combat. What you're about to see was classified until very recently. The Israeli F-35 Ayadir is far more than just a standard fighter jet. This was a weapon so sophisticated that even top US military officials were shaken. They tried to halt its development, claiming it was far too risky. They couldn't have been more wrong. Picture this. It's 2010, and Israeli defense officers enter a Pentagon briefing with a proposal that leaves American generals pale. Their plan? To strip down the most costly military program ever built and reconstruct it entirely on their own terms. The reaction was swift and uncompromising. Completely off limits. Yet the surprising reality is this. Israel went ahead anyway. What they built would redefine everything. It all began with a seemingly unsolvable challenge. Iran's nuclear sites lie 930 miles from Israel's borders. Meanwhile, a standard F-35s can only cover about 685 miles on internal fuel. American officials initially laughed it off. Then reality hit. They realized Israel was serious. What unfolded next was unlike anything seen in military history. Israel insisted on upgrades to the F-35s that the Pentagon had strictly forbidden. They aimed to remove the American electronic warfare systems and integrate their own cutting-edge technology. They planned to fit enormous fuel tanks, even if it risked compromising the aircraft's stealth. They also aimed to equip it with weapons that had never been field-tested. Pentagon's Defense Security Cooperation Agency publicly cautioned that these changes would be extremely expensive and likely not serve any nation's best interest. In other words, don't even think about it. Israel held leverage unlike any other nation. Back in 2003, they signed a $20 million deal that made them an official security partner in F-35 program. This status granted them privileges that even America's closest allies didn't enjoy. Negotiations were intense. US officials feared that allowing Israeli upgrades would set a precedent, prompting other countries to demand their own modifications. The F-35 program was already the costliest military project in history, totaling $1.7 trillion. A single misstep in modifications could have jeopardized the entire program. Israeli negotiators took a firm stance. They reminded US officials that Israel confronted existential threats unlike any other F-35 operator. While most nations purchased the F-35 for projecting power, Israel relied on them for survival. The breakthrough arrived in July 2011, when something unprecedented occurred. For the first time in F-35 program history, the Pentagon approved previously forbidden modifications. However, they imposed conditions stricter than any military contract ever drafted. Each Israeli upgrade had to receive Lockheed Martin's approval. Every alteration required rigorous testing by American engineers. Each upgrade had to demonstrate that it wouldn't compromise the F-35's essential capabilities. Israel accepted every condition; they had little choice. In 2012, Lockheed Martin was awarded a contract unlike any other in aviation history. They were tasked with assisting Israel in modifying America's most secretive aircraft using foreign technology. Pentagon officials were alarmed, yet the contract moved forward. What Israel developed next shattered every conventional rule of aerospace engineering. They produced the world's first stealth fighter equipped with modular electronic warfare systems. The standard, before anyone else Systems A, divided by ASQ 239 suite, was entirely replaced by Israeli Elbit technology, engineered specifically to defeat Russian S-300 and S-400 missile defenses. This was far more than a simple upgrade; it marked a revolution in electronic warfare. The Israeli system could disrupt enemy radar while simultaneously collecting intelligence from hundreds of miles away. It could detect, track, and neutralize multiple threats all at once. No other aircraft on the planet possessed capabilities like this. The first system used 425-gallon drop tanks, designed to be jettisoned along with their pylons. When attached, they gave the F-35 intercontinental range. Once released, the aircraft regained full stealth functionality. It was engineering brilliance that seemed impossible. The second innovation was even more remarkable. Israeli engineers developed 800-gallon conformal fuel tanks that seamlessly integrated into the aircraft's fuselage. These tanks were coated with the same radar-absorbing materials as the rest of the aircraft, rendering them completely invisible to enemy sensors. American aerospace specialists called this feat impossible. The engineering obstacles were staggering. Adding such a volume of fuel would drastically affect weight distribution, flight dynamics, and the plane's electromagnetic signature. A single error could have transformed the world's most advanced fighter into an extremely costly failure. Israel Aerospace Industries and Elbit Systems dedicated years to solving unprecedented challenges. They leveraged supercomputers to simulate electromagnetic signatures. Materials were tested in chambers replicating real battlefield conditions. They completely overhauled the fuel systems using groundbreaking methods. The outcome stunned everyone, including America's leading military engineers. Israeli modifications enhanced the F-35 capabilities across multiple dimensions. The conformal fuel tanks improved the aircraft's aerodynamics. Meanwhile, the upgraded electronic warfare systems offered functions that American designers had never envisioned. By 2019, Israel had finished preliminary design work for both fuel systems. The schedule was tight, with a promise to reach full operational readiness within just 2 years. Global military analysts claimed it was impossible. Once again, they were proven wrong. Israeli F-35 received yet another forbidden upgrade that sent shockwaves through Pentagon leadership. Israeli F-35 could rapidly integrate new missiles, advanced sensors, or experimental weapons far faster than any other military worldwide. Their weapons integration capabilities were equally groundbreaking. These jets could carry Python 5 air-to-air missiles and spice precision-guided bombs internally. Each weapon was specifically tailored to Middle Eastern threats, granting Israel capabilities no other F-35 operator had. The regional power balance had shifted for good. Russian defense analysts were equally astonished. The S-300 and S-400 air defense systems, long hailed as the world's most advanced, failed to detect or target Israeli F-35. Billions invested in Russian military exports suddenly seemed outdated. In 2022, Israel dropped a bombshell announcement that reverberated across global military circles. Their F-35I fleet now had the range to strike Iran without a single aerial refueling. The forbidden upgrades achieved what experts once deemed impossible. They effectively doubled the F-35's operational range while keeping full stealth intact. The very Pentagon officials who once deemed Israeli modifications forbidden and too risky suddenly wanted to replicate them. The U.S. Air Force included $432 million in its 2026 budget to develop similar capabilities for American F-35. The forbidden upgrades that the U.S. once tried to block were now being adopted by American forces. Israeli innovations were steadily being integrated across the global F-35 program. Modifications once labeled too risky were now seen as essential for modern warfare. Yet the impact of these changes went well beyond mere technical specifications. Israel had shown that true military innovation emerges when nations can tailor platforms to their unique needs. The one-size-fits-all mindset was over. Customization had become the new standard. Other F-35 operators quickly began requesting their own specialized modifications. The supposedly perfect standard jet that America had championed now seemed insufficient. Nations began demanding Israeli-style upgrades to address their own strategic threats. The industrial ripple was just as significant. Israeli firms became crucial contributors to the global F-35 program. Israel Aerospace Industries now produces wings for every F-35 in service. Elbit Systems supplies advanced helmet displays used by pilots around the world. The forbidden upgrades had turned Israeli firms into indispensable partners. Lockheed Martin committed to acquiring $4 billion in components and systems from these companies. The very partnership that Pentagon leaders once feared was now creating huge profits for American defense contractors. The performance numbers tell the full story. Israeli F-35 boast an 85% mission readiness rate, far surpassing their American counterparts. They've logged more than 15,000 combat flight hours without a single loss. The forbidden upgrades not only functioned, they outperformed every expectation. Currently, Israel fields 36 F-35 across 3 squadrons, with orders set for a total of 75 aircraft. Each jet carries capabilities unmatched by any other military. They stand as living proof that rule-breaking can spark true innovation. The forbidden F-35 upgrade reshaped modern warfare entirely. It showed that stealth and extended range could operate together. It also proved that allies are capable of enhancing American weapons beyond their original design. It proved that true innovation demands risks bureaucrats will always resist. More importantly, it shifted the strategic balance in one of the world's most volatile regions. Iran's nuclear plans now face threats they cannot neutralize. Russian air defense networks were revealed as insufficient. American military partnerships evolved from mere sales deals into genuine collaborations. Another remarkable aspect of the F-35 Iadir upgrade was its unprecedented software architecture. Israeli engineers developed real-time battlefield analytics that could process incoming sensor data from multiple aircraft simultaneously. This allowed pilots to instantly assess threats, prioritize targets, and execute complex missions with precision, effectively turning each F-35 Iadir into a flying command center. The ability to share encrypted tactical data across squadrons meant that the entire Israeli Air Force could coordinate attacks in a way no other air force could match. In addition, Israel applied cutting-edge cooling systems and lightweight composite materials to critical components, improving both range and maneuverability. The planes could fly at ultra-low altitudes to evade radar detection or ascend to stratospheric heights for strategic reconnaissance. all while maintaining full stealth capabilities. This adaptability enabled Israel to conduct a variety of missions, from surgical strikes to intelligence gathering, in hostile environments that would ground conventional aircraft. The psychological impact of the F-35 upgrades was equally profound. Just the knowledge that Israel possessed aircraft with forbidden modifications forced neighboring nations to rethink their entire defense posture. Strategic planning, nuclear deterrence calculations, and the deployment of advanced air defense systems were all immediately affected. The mere existence of these aircraft became a powerful deterrent, reshaping regional military dynamics without firing a single shot. From an international perspective, Israel's approach set a new precedent for military collaboration. Allies of the United States began demanding similar customization rights, realizing that a one-size-fits-all aircraft could no longer address unique regional threats. Israel demonstrated that allowing operational flexibility and technological innovation within Allied programs could produce unprecedented results, creating a new model for global military partnerships. Finally, these upgrades also catalyzed industrial and economic impact. Israeli defense firms became essential suppliers to the global F-35 program. Israel Aerospace Industries manufactures key structural components for every F-35, while Elbit Systems produces advanced pilot helmet displays used worldwide. This integration transformed Israel from a niche participant into a central player in the most sophisticated fighter jet program in history, proving that technological leadership and strategic necessity often go hand in hand. The forbidden F-35 upgrade that once alarmed Pentagon officials has now set the standard for military innovation worldwide. Israel didn't simply alter an aircraft. They transformed the way the world views defense technology forever. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the most restricted upgrade in military history. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video.